Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you still think Chinese pharma is all about cheap generics and copycat APIs, CPHI Shanghai 2026 will force you to rethink everything. Last time, we walked you through the complete layout of CPHI Shanghai, covering all major pavilions, core exhibition zones, and must-visit booths to help you plan your exhibition route. Today, we're popping the hood completely and breaking down the real game changers. The latest tech iterations, hot segmented tracks, supply chain shifts, and compliance upgrades that are actually reshaping China's global pharma supply chain in 2026. This is not superficial exhibition sightseeing. This is pure on-site industrial first-hand intelligence you won't find anywhere else. Before we jump in, quick context. This year's CPHI Shanghai is larger in scale, more segmented in layout, and far more focused on domestic substitution, green manufacturing, AI-driven R&D, and global compliant export. It covers the entire pharma industrial chain from raw materials, intermediates, excipients, and biotech raw materials to CXO services, innovative formulations, and translational medicine. Every core change we're talking about today is captured from frontline booth displays, new product launches, and exclusive industry summit dialogues right here on site. Let's start with the most foundational core sector API iteration. Walking through the entire API exhibition zone this year, the upgrade of Chinese manufacturers is extremely obvious and systematic. No longer limited to basic generic APIs. Top domestic players are heavily upgrading their high-value specialty API lines, focusing on high-purity, ultra-low residue, high-stability formulations that target high-end generic drugs and innovative drug-supporting needs. The biggest on-site highlight is the full-scale popularization of green and low-carbon synthetic processes. Almost all leading exhibitors have launched optimized catalytic synthesis, continuous flow production, and waste recycling technologies. These upgraded processes not only cut production costs significantly, but also fully meet the increasingly strict global environmental protection and carbon emission benchmarks of Europe, the US, and Southeast Asia. On the compliance front, US and EP standard alignment has completely become table stakes for export-oriented API factories. There's no compromise here. What's new in 2026 is that mainstream suppliers have fully upgraded full process impurity control systems, residual solvent monitoring, heavy metal detection, and batch traceability systems across all production lines. Every batch of export-grade APIs now supports full standard compliant documentation and audit trails. Bottom line, Chinese APIs are no longer just cost-effective. They've achieved stable quality, full compliance, and differentiated high-end iteration. For global buyers who suffered from global supply shocks, quality instability, and delivery delays in the past few years, this comprehensive upgrade means far stronger supply chain stability and reliability for long-term cooperation. One question came up repeatedly at this year's CPHI from European and American procurement and supply chain teams. How are Chinese suppliers responding to the global China Plus One sourcing strategy that's reshaping cross-border supply chains? On site, we saw a very clear, industry-defining answer. Rather than simply blindly expanding overseas factories or shifting capacity offshore, leading API and intermediate manufacturers are building a mature dual-site, dual-dossier supply model. They maintain synchronized ENPA, FDA, and EU EMA full dossiers, paired with fully mirrored quality control systems and production standards at domestic and overseas bases. For global buyers, this is the perfect solution to China One layout needs. You can effectively diversify geopolitical and supply risks without sacrificing product consistency, delivery stability, or cost advantages. As one VP of supply chain from a top 10 European pharma put it bluntly, de-risking, not decoupling, that's the new global sourcing mantra. Cheap APIs are dead. Compliant, differentiated APIs are the new normal. So much for molecules, but molecules alone don't make a finished drug. Another key on-site trend: segmented medical APIs for chronic diseases, metabolic diseases, and oncology have become the core display focus. Many factories launched exclusive customized API solutions for GLP-1 metabolic therapy, anti-tumor targeted drugs, and neurological drugs, marking China's API sector moving from bulk supply to customized high-value precise supply. High-end pharmaceutical intermediates and excipients full scene upgrade. Beyond APIs, pharmaceutical intermediates and functional excipients are another breakout track at this year's CPHI, which most casual exhibition visitors easily miss. The intermediate sector is shifting from low-purity RAF processing to high-purity refined intermediates and chiral intermediates, perfectly matching the R&D and production needs of global innovative drugs. For pharmaceutical excipients, the upgrade is revolutionary. Domestic exhibitors have launched a full range of high-purity inert excipients, sustained-release carrier excipients, and biodegradable excipients, breaking the long-term monopoly of imported high-end excipients. More importantly, localized excipient manufacturers now provide one-stop customized matching services for different dosage forms, greatly reducing the formulation adaptation cycle for pharmaceutical enterprises. CXO outsourcing industry full recovery and on-site cooperation hotspots. The CXO space is seeing a substantial, industry-wide rebound in 2026, and this trend is fully verified on-site at CPHI. Global pharma financing has rebounded rapidly after 2 years of adjustment, and new drug pipeline transactions, early-stage innovative drug projects, and modified drug upgrading projects are surging globally, creating massive incremental demand for flexible, low-cost, high-compliance outsourcing capacity. Domestic CXO companies are doubling down on their core competitive advantages on site. They're highlighting mature end-to-end full-cycle services, covering early-stage target screening, laboratory R&D, pilot scale-up, process optimization, and commercial mass production. The biggest advantage displayed at the exhibition is flexible pipeline adaptation. When global clients adjust R&D directions or iterate product pipelines, domestic CXOs can quickly adjust process plans and production schedules, which is extremely friendly for overseas biotech startups and mid-sized pharma companies with lightweight operation models. Another major on-site breakthrough: many leading CXOs have launched cross-border compliant production lines that simultaneously meet China ENPA, US FDA, and EU EMA standards. This multi-standard integrated production capability greatly simplifies the cross-border approval process for cooperative projects and becomes the core selling point for attracting European and American procurement and R&D cooperation. For overseas biotechs running lean teams, this flexibility is no longer a nice-to-have. It's the difference between hitting a phase 2 milestone and missing it. Biopharmaceutical raw material independent innovation is undoubtedly one of the biggest highlights of this year's CPHI, concentrated in the W9 Advanced Technology Exhibition Zone. For years, core biotech raw materials such as cell culture media and recombinant protein materials relied heavily on foreign imports, forming a strict technological monopoly. This year, a large number of domestic suppliers have officially launched fully self-developed, industrial-grade mass-producible biotech core materials on site, achieving real industrial-level domestic substitution instead of laboratory prototypes. In terms of innovative formulation technology, the on-site display is very targeted and problem-solving. Next-gen sustained release, targeted delivery, long-acting slow release, and microencapsulation formulation technologies are fully exhibited, specifically solving clinical pain points such as frequent medication, low drug utilization, and large side effects. These upgraded formulation technologies are widely applied in chronic disease treatment, tumor-targeted therapy, and pediatric special dosage forms. In addition, the entire biopharma sector is fully aligning with the latest national biotech regulatory policies. On-site enterprise displays and summit sharing all focus on standardized R&D, compliant clinical transformation, and standardized industrial production, clarifying clear compliant boundaries for the industrialization of new biotech technologies, which greatly boosts the confidence of global buyers in cooperating with Chinese biotech enterprises. Booming segmented tracks, plant extracts, healthcare, and metabolic therapy raw materials. This year's exhibition has obvious hot segmented consumer health tracks that cannot be ignored. The plant extract sector shows strong global competitiveness of Chinese supply chains. Domestic enterprises have formed mature deep processing systems for classic plant raw materials like turmeric, ginseng, rhodiola, and Ganoderma, and even realized refined processing and patent customization for overseas origin raw materials such as ashwagandha. Different from previous simple ingredient supply, 2O-6E's plant extract exhibitors focus on standardized extraction, active ingredient purification, and functional formula customization, perfectly matching the demand of global functional food, dietary supplement, and skincare raw material markets. Meanwhile, metabolic management raw materials have become the most popular track on site. Driven by the global GLP-1 boom, AMP activators, intestinal flora regulators, sugar, and lipid metabolism adjustment raw materials have become core display hotspots. The industry logic has shifted from simple weight reduction to systematic metabolic health management, opening up long-term high-growth space for functional raw materials, AI pharma intelligent manufacturing, and smart lab upgrades. After walking nearly every hall, one realization hit me harder than any brochure. AI didn't arrive at CPHI this year, it took over. Intelligent and digital transformation is a universal upgrade across all booths this year. AI technology is no longer a conceptual publicity point but has achieved large-scale industrial landing. On-site summits and enterprise displays show mature AI application scenarios. AI-assisted drug target screening, AI-optimized synthetic routes, AI-driven clinical trial patient screening, and progress acceleration and full process digital process optimization for production lines. In the Smart Laboratory exhibition area, mainstream brands and domestic independent brands display fully automated laboratory detection systems, intelligent traceability equipment, and standardized quality control systems. The full digital coverage of R&D, testing, production, and warehousing has become the standard configuration of high-quality pharmaceutical enterprises, greatly improving production efficiency and quality stability. Key takeaways from on-site summits and industry roundtables. This year's CPHI on-site summits and industry roundtables are extremely pragmatic with zero empty theories, all focusing on industrial landing and trend prediction. In addition to AI industrial applications and translational medicine breakthroughs, the summit released authoritative 2026 to 2027 industry forecasts. The global pharmaceutical raw material market will maintain steady growth, while industry differentiation will intensify significantly. Compliant, high-tech, and green production enterprises will further gain market share, while backward low-end capacity will be continuously eliminated. Industry roundtables also reached a unified consensus on market pricing cycles, a core concern for every global procurement team. While domestic labor and energy costs continue to inch up slightly, large-scale process intensification and AI-driven production optimization are effectively flattening the overall cost curve. Moving forward over the next 12-18 months, the industry will usher in a clear quality up, volatility down pricing environment, bidding farewell to the vicious low-margin price competition of the past decade. This is a critical trend for buyers to lock in long-term procurement budgets and supplier cooperation plans. That makes 2026 to 2027 a strategic window to lock in medium-term supply agreements before industry high-end capacity tightens again. Translational medicine discussions focus on solving the core industry bottleneck, efficiently converting laboratory-level innovative achievements into scalable, mass-producible, cost-controlled industrial products. Multiple industry roundtables reached unified consensus on global procurement trends, raw material price fluctuation cycles, international policy iteration, and updated global compliance standards, providing direct decision-making basis for global buyers' annual procurement layout. Supplier selection and sourcing avoidance guide updated with 2026 on-site standards. For every global buyer watching this video, I've sorted out an updated on-site verified supplier screening framework for 2026. First, always verify complete and valid global compliance credentials including USP, EP, FDA, and GMP certification. Second, confirm stable continuous production capacity and anti-risk supply capacity to avoid order delays caused by capacity fluctuations. Third, check verifiable long-term export track records and cross-border delivery experience. Fourth, focus on the enterprise's continuous R&D iteration capability instead of only existing product lines. From on-site observation, Chinese manufacturers still have absolute advantages in cost performance, large-scale standardized production capacity, and flexible customized services. International brands retain leading edges in individual cutting-edge core technologies, and original innovative formulations. Global buyers can build a more stable, cost-effective, and risk-resistant hybrid supply chain by matching Chinese mass production capacity with international high-end technology resources. Meanwhile, we summarize solutions for the most common sourcing pain points on site. Full chain supply traceability system, unified standardized quality control protocols for cross-border orders, and flexible cooperation models adapted to small batch trial orders, mass stable orders, and customized R&D orders respectively, helping buyers reduce cooperation risks and improve procurement efficiency. One red flag I'd call out from on-site auditing: if a supplier can't produce consistent, batch-level impurity profiles and real-time carbon intensity data on site, they're not ready for serious Western tenders, no matter how competitive the quote is. This has become a core one-vote veto item for European and American professional procurement teams. To be clear, these upgrades aren't universal yet. Plenty of booths still relied on outdated, low-end capacity and old-school price competition. But the top tier, the suppliers global buyers should actually shortlist, have clearly moved the industry goalposts, combining all on-site booth displays, new product launches, and summit consensus. The entire Chinese pharmaceutical industry is advancing steadily toward 4 core pillars in 2026. Refined and full scene compliance. Comprehensive high-end domestic substitution of core raw materials and technologies. AI and digital empowered whole industry innovation. And in-depth global supply chain collaborative development. The industry is completely bidding farewell to low-price competition and entering a new era of technology-driven, compliance-supported, and quality-centered high-quality development. Beyond regulatory compliance, ESG has officially become a rigid supplier selection filter for European and American buyers in 2026. Multiple overseas procurement representatives shared on site that they now require standardized carbon intensity data per kilogram of API and raw material products before approving any long-term framework cooperation contracts. What's a huge breakthrough this year? For the first time, a large number of top Chinese exhibitors have completed standardized carbon data statistics and ESG system certification, fully meeting the overseas green procurement threshold. Green chemistry isn't a pitch anymore, it's a qualifier. Multi-standard compliance isn't a plus in 2026, it's table stakes. To help you quickly grasp the industry's iterative changes, I've sorted out a core dimension comparison between CPHI 2024 and CPHI 2026, covering the most concerned indicators of global buyers. Core industry iteration, CPHI 2024 versus CPHI 2026. 1. API focus. 2024 focused on generic bulk volume supply, 2026 shifted to high-value specialty and customized scenario-based APIs. 2. Compliance standard. 2024 relied mainly on basic GMP certification, 2026 upgraded to multi-market synchronized dossiers plus standardized ESG carbon assessment. 3. CXO service model. 2024 focused on pure cost arbitrage, 2026 focused on flexible, fast switch pipeline adaptation and full-cycle compliance services. 4. Tech application. 2024 took AI as a marketing concept, 2026 realized AI as industrial infrastructure for full process production optimization. 5. Buyer core concern. 2024 focused entirely on product price advantage, 2026 focused on supply chain resilience, stable quality and cross-border compliance. 6. Buyer mindset. 2024 reactive procurement, 2026 strategic long-term layout. That's our in-depth full deep dive into all core tracks, technological breakthroughs, segmented hot trends, and supply chain changes of China's pharma raw material and CXO outsourcing sectors from 2026 CPHI Shanghai. But here's the key industrial logic you need to know. Premium raw materials, advanced formulas, and mature outsourcing services only lay the foundation for product competitiveness. Stable standardized mass production, rigorous full process quality control, and 100% compliant cross-border delivery all depend entirely on professional pharmaceutical production equipment, precision testing instruments, and standardized production lines. Up next, we're switching scenes and heading straight to PMEC Shanghai, the supporting pharmaceutical equipment and packaging exhibition that perfectly matches CPHI. This is where all the raw material innovation and formulation technology we talked about today is truly transformed into industrialized, market-ready pharmaceutical products. Trust me, the equipment upgrades and intelligent production solutions on display are game-changing for every pharma manufacturer. You definitely don't want to miss this next episode. If you're evaluating Chinese API, intermediate, or CXO partners for your 2026 to 2027 roadmap and want a vetted shortlist, operating real multi-standard compliance from paperwork claims, drop a comment with your therapeutic area or DM me. Happy to share what we learned on the floor. No hard sales, just unfiltered, on-the-ground industry insight.